was really actually pretty cheap. It was rinky dink, and that was the thing. He was still using it a lot, and so I was like, well, if this kid's gonna use it, then I might as well pop for a couple extra bucks and get him something that's worth a shit. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
And and we've had a lot of fun with it. Like if nothing else, we get outside, we get a little bit of exercise, and have some fun. So.
It's surprisingly a lot of exercise because you walk so much, you're swinging your arms so much, you're up and down. It's like a regular workout.
You're carrying that fucking thing around, and yeah, like you said, swinging it and going up and down. Yeah, it's pretty good exercise.
Yeah, you trade off arms, and then you're digging. So yeah, it's cool.
Yeah, it is cool. I like it. Yeah, it's fun. It's fun for sure. And I'm just waiting for that big payday, baby. Big payday.
Hey, I've out of my yard here that where I live, I've found a bunch. I've found several, a few silver rings and some silver coins and stuff. It's pretty badass.
Cool.
My house is 118 years old. There ought to be some old stuff here.
Yeah, exactly. That's the cool thing about where we live. There's a lot of where I live. There used to be a lot of like logging, like in the 20s and like the 20s, even like 1890 to like 1950. There was a lot of logging, a lot of fishing. So, and a lot of mining, gold mining. And so there's a lot of old homesteads and like whole towns and shit where basically there used to be whole communities and they're all gone now. And so
I like hitting up the homesteads. The homesteads.
So much fun. It's so much fun. We found a place where we know they used to have a dump for the whole town. And while that might sound gross, the garbage is like over 100 years old at this point. So
it's good.
And you just find so much cool shit now. So that's cool. Yeah. All right, what's going on, everybody? Yeah, we're live. Zach Johnson, Smoke 42 Vape, Dustin Vapor, John Mueller. Sup? How's everybody doing? Rye, we lost you for a second. Look at that. Oh,
he's back.
Clouds, baby. Them big old clouds are blowing. So how's everybody doing? As you can see, we got a power panel here. We got Daytime Frank, Jesse Stucker from Stand Up 3D, and the infamous sexual Vape Rye. Maria got jealous for a second. This guy,
like son of a.
Watch Pandal move back to Florida.
I know.
Where you can find some Orangina.
There you go.
Orangina, everyone.
Get you some.
Man, I'm so jealous you get to have Orangina. You're making me say it wrong though now. It's Orangina.
Orangina. You want Orangina?
Yeah, I want Orangina. Please do.
Sounds like something Trump gets on the side.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh, my God.
No, it's a orange. You remember Orangina? Little drinks. Came in a weird glass bottles. They don't sell them right. That's where he lives, Florida. KBN, what up?
What up, KBN?
What's happening, everybody? Okay, so I forget what we're supposed to talk about tonight, but let me look on the title here. So we're going to talk about Ohmageddon. Unfortunately, it's closing their doors. Talk a little bit about mods of different kinds, maybe give a couple recommendations. They are having sales, yeah, for sure. And we're going to look at some coils from Drip Dead Gorgeous, who's probably one of my favorite coil builders of all time. She's also a local to where I live, and so it's going to be super interesting to look at what she has sent in. There's not a lot, but the stuff that she has sent is really, really interesting. So we've talked a lot about it on this show about how coil building kind of has reached this point where it really isn't going anywhere else. Like it's reached this point where it's kind of stagnant right now. And I think that people like her do a lot of really interesting things with what we have available. So you guys will see. It's super interesting. If you guys haven't followed her already, you go to Instagram. It's Drip Dead Gorgeous. And I think it's just Drip Dead Gorgeous, but it'll come up if you look for it. She has some amazing stuff on there. And she's actually pregnant right now, so she's not vaping. So I thought it'd be a good time to remind people that she's there. And congratulations. If she's watching this, congratulations on the baby. Her and her old man is the guy who runs the local vape shop. So they're good friends. All right. So what's everybody vaping on tonight? Frank, what are you vaping on, buddy?
I got the usual. Got the top side with the drop solo. I got butterscotch banana custard in there.
Oh, that sounds good.
I got the Aegis with the Goon 1.5 with Addie's black cherry custard in there, or dark cherry custard. And the BTFC on the Bassium, no squonk, with Water Malone from DIY or Die. Wayne Walker's got his recipe and threw it together.
I haven't had any of his like. He sells one shots for somewhere, doesn't he?
Yeah, yeah. On ECX, he has some Liquid Barn. Yeah, Liquid Barn ECX is where he has most of them.
Nice.
But this one, it's a public recipe, so why buy one shot when you can mix it yourself?
Absolutely.
It's easy too. So I think it's only like 6 flavors.
Yeah, man. Like I'm so like I want to release some of my flavors on ELR, but I'm greedy. I'm like maybe someday I can make money off of them, so I'm not gonna do it. All right, Jesse, what are you vaping on, buddy?
I have no fucking clue. Oh, Drop dead on the Sarov with
Current River.
I think it's this.
Oh, okay.
Oh shit, that's a good shit. That's like one of my favorites.
Yeah, that's it. My taste buds have been a little messed up lately. I just switched back to this just a little bit ago, but I've been vaping on the Drop, Dreamer, and Current River.
You know, I have never had like people always like Maria, especially. She's had a lot of trouble with like Vapor's tongue in the past. I've never had anything like that.
Oh, I get it all the time. If I make a mix that I really like, I just go overboard with it, and then after a few hours, it's muted. I can't taste it anymore, so I have to switch to something else and just go back to it the next day or whatever.
My taste buds are fucked up because I have a cold.
Okay. There's been times where I got to a point where with my DIY white girl, there's been a point where like I just don't taste it anymore just because I vaped it so much.
Exactly. That's what happens.
But then like if I vape anything else, yeah, it's like I can taste it. It's just I get so burnt on that one flavor. But then I take like a couple hours even, and I'm right back to normal.
I know a lot of people that get Vapor's tongue on strawberries a lot. I've never had it. I've never got Vapor's tongue on a strawberry, and I love strawberry.
I think I have. If I really like it, and I just go crazy about it.
It's weird because with Maria, it's crazy because it'll be like she can't taste anything on any liquid, and we figured out a few different things. You know, like lemon juice, like straight lemon. We'll wake them up. Coffee, yeah.
Drinking lots of water.
Yeah. Yeah, staying hydrated is like the answer to everything always.
I've got Vapor's Cloud with other flavors, just never strawberry.
Huh. Okay. Rye, what are you vaping on, buddy?
Oh, tonight I got one setup tonight.
Nice.
And it's the top side with the Rebirth, the piano.
Oh, you got the Rebirth already. Cool.
Yeah.
How you liking it so far?
All the fucking nice shit.
No, because I don't know, but I actually the logo of it, I was actually a part of it.
Yeah, you designed that sucker. Huh?
Yeah.
Not designed the deck and the RDA itself.
Yeah, it was a logo.
Just the logo part.
That's good though. That's a good. It's pretty badass.
Yeah, it feels pretty good these days because of that. Because it's finally out there. Because I've known about this RDA like 4 months ago, when Mike Vapes hit me up and he asked me like if I'm interested of like because he's trying to like get some ideas on what logo he wants to put on, and he hit me up out of nowhere and just asked me, "Do you want to help me out on that?" And I was like, "Why did you choose me?" Out of all the people that you know, why did you hit me up? Like, I'm not a logo designer. I'm a coil builder. Like,
but the things that you do with the boxes and the way that you present your coils to different people and stuff, come on, man.
Yeah,
you can't be that surprised.
Yes, and that I guess in that part, but it really didn't, cross my mind at that moment because I was just kind of like, I mean, I don't want to say like starstruck, but I'm kind of like, I mean, this is Mike Vapes, you know what I'm saying? Like, I know we're friends and we know each other, but he's a great reviewer. A lot of people follow him and stuff, So
that was like when I met him in Richmond. He comes up, high five.
The same feeling that I felt when Travis invited me to the show.
Shut the fuck up.
I'm not lying about that. I was excited about it. It was an honor. Because we were at Tommy's show, and we were both guests at that time, and we really had a great topic that night. It was a good show. It turned out to be really great and very interesting. So after that, after like a week, I think, you hit me up and asked me if I could be in your show. It was an honor, bro.
Oh, I appreciate that.
It's this work and family thing that kind of puts me away from this schedule, but
definitely.
I told you I promise I'll be here tonight.
I appreciate that. Tommy Vapors. That's who I was trying to think of earlier.
Yeah.
Tommy Vapors, man. I told you.
Yeah, so I came up with it, and he just gave me the name. Basically, he told me like it's gonna be called the Rebirth, and I'm like, why don't you stop using these things? Why do you keep changing?
Well, it's like
See,
they pick on Matt, you know, Stuck My Mod.
Yeah.
They call his the hermaphrodite RDA. You know they're gonna be calling this one the Afterbirth.
That's what the first thing I thought was Afterbirth.
Yeah.
the next one will be the Afterbirth.
Kind of made me cringe when I first heard it, but I was like, whatever, it's your thing, you know what I'm saying? Like, well, who am I to fucking tell you what to name it? Or
I had
another idea.
I had the opportunity to 3D print some stuff for Mike and close to a couple months ago, and so whenever I did that stuff, I actually did the stands and stuff for the Rebirth.
Nice.
Oh, nice.
Oh,
And that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Were you sworn to secrecy? You couldn't talk about it?
No,
It
I
just-
wasn't sworn to secrecy, but I didn't talk about it.
Yeah.
It just never happened in my life that I could be part of like what I feel like it's a big project because it's our community. It's about vaping. It's an art.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
I get all giddy whenever, every time I watch their videos because there's a plaque that sits behind him now that I made him, and it says Mike Vapes on it. I made that. I'm like, woohoo! He's got it up.
Yeah.
It's always nice when you get a little bit of recognition in a community that you've given a lot to. So
Yeah, it's kind of nice. Yeah, and then when he asked me that, I just thought about like every time I hear a word that has like rebirth or something, it's like something that's rising, something that's coming out.
Yeah, it's like the Phoenix Rising. Yeah.
Exactly. That's where I got that.
I would have had just like a woman with her legs spread and just like my face coming out or something.
And the fact that I kind of miss logos that are rounded.
It looks
kinda lost
great.
that for a little bit.
Yeah,
Because
it is a
so
sexy
great.
logo.
Let me look it up actually real quick so I can put it on, let people see it.
yeah, it's like a rounded thing, and I haven't seen that in a while. That kind of like big and like kind of circly kind of thing. So I didn't really care. I was like, that looks pretty cool. It
That's a good picture of it.
kind of relates to the rebirth. It
You
makes
did a great
sense.
job.
Let
Yeah.
me share the
So,
screen so
beautiful.
people who are watching can see what we're talking about. So here it is. It's a great logo. It's super clean.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
The
It really
the,
is.
the,
It's nice.
the design I made is more sharper, like how it curves to the edges. It's more
Mhm.
sharper. It looks like really just kind of ripped off. That's the effect that I was trying to make. But I guess however it can't be that detailed, or else this art
Yeah.
is probably going to cost more. So
I got some nice colorways on it though.
good enough.
That's
Oh,
cool
yeah.
actually.
Yeah, I'm
So this-
surprised it came out right away with colors. You know.
Look at all those. That's crazy. That's a
And
lot.
once again, there's no green. You know,
Well, I mean,
that's rainbow.
Yeah, it's
There's no green. You know, that's like Brian with the top side. I told him, I was like, dude, you got to
Yeah.
make a green one.
Yeah.
And I had him and Billy right there. And we were talking about the stainless steel drop dead with the green drip tip
Yeah.
and a green top side, and it'd be perfect because we're
Yeah.
all Eagles fans, so it'd match up perfectly. You know,
be like
we know Dive Pro's got green paint.
So I got myself a little topside too. Well, I gave it to her, but it's so they sent me one. Brian sent me one for review,
cool.
and man, I gotta say, I'm not a regulated like mod guy, and I'm also not a squonk guy, but I fucking love this. This is so much better than I thought it was gonna be. It is heavy duty.
Yeah.
My
Oh,
review.
yeah.
I've been working on the review for a couple days. It'll be up tomorrow. It's done. I just have to actually upload it. I fucking love this. You could beat someone to death with this, and that's always kind of one of the metrics I use. Like, is this a good mod?
But it's still light enough though.
It's not so heavy that you can't wear it. Like, if I'm wearing like basketball shorts, I can put it in my
It's-
pocket. It's not gonna pants
It's
me.
fucking
I
solid.
throw up my short in my my pants pockets all day long when I'm
But
working.
if you wanted to beat someone to death, you could. I mean, it would probably still function. So I don't know. That was a big selling
I don't know. The battery door's solid, but I think if you had to commit
Wow.
murder with it, I think it'd probably come off.
You want to hit from the side, probably.
Well, yeah, you got to do it like this.
Side.
But you want to do it this way though, because you don't want to mess up the USB either. So
There's a couple things that I don't.
If you get like body, if you get like skin or something in there, it might mess it up.
Yeah, that might fuck it up. There's a couple things I don't really like about it. I think 90 watts. Why limit yourself? Because I know that with one battery you can get 110. So why not just do 110? That was one thing I didn't like about it.
So just wait till the 2 battery topside comes out then.
Yeah, for sure.
Probably 218 650, so not 21 700s.
Oh, come on, he's got to stay with the 21 700s.
It'd be massive though. It'd be a coffee table mod.
It'd be big as fuck. Yeah.
Well, the one thing that I was worried about is I build really low, and usually a single battery regulated does not work for me.
You have to build appropriately for this mod, without a doubt.
Yeah, that's worked better.
I have a 0.9 in here right now. It's kind of going between 0.9 and 0.1, or 1. 0.1, 0.09 and 0.1. I mean, and it's definitely lacking a little bit in just the oomph. But then I put on the actual drop solo, and I had like a 0.3, and it was a lot better. I mean, you just have to build accordingly for it. But that's another big thing I don't like about it is that, like, I don't want to build for specific mods. I want to have my RDAs built, and if I want to use it, I'm gonna throw it on whatever I'm using, and just fucking fire away. And I don't know. And also the bottle placement, I haven't heard anybody else talk about this, but the bottom of placement just feels wrong to me. Like, if I'm using it like with the bottle out, where I would actually score.
That's the way I do it. I thumb fire it.
Yeah, it just feels like the RDA is like on the wrong side or something. Too close, like I'm gonna fucking drink out of it or something. But then if I have it over here, then it's all wrong too. I don't know. So there was a couple things I didn't like about it, but overall, it's a great fucking mod, and the finish on it is amazing. It's so much better than I expected it to be.
I mean, I have a pretty low build in mine for a single coil. I got a 0.13 running 55 watts, and I get almost a full day on the battery.
I will say
like the capacity
with the 40Ts, the Samsung 40T batteries, and the 10 mils of juice.
It straight puts off the wattage. Like no matter, like, some mods say 90 watts, and they put off not 90 watts. This is putting off a solid fucking firm 90 watts, and I'll give it that.
Or throw in bypass.
I actually thought this was a lot smaller. But when I got it, I was like, no, this is pretty bulky but fits enough. I resized it. I compared it to the recurve, and it's like the same size.
Here it is. Height wise with the Basium.
What Jesse was saying, as far as the capacity, that's huge. Having 10 mils is fucking massive. Yeah. That's so big.
It's a solid mod, man.
I've been doing something I have not hardly ever done is running single coil. I keep the Reverie on it, and I'm not really a single coil guy, but it works out really well.
I think it's a perfect match for the drop solo. In single coil, put something nice in there. I think it works really well in single coil mode. I think that's kind of where you.
A lot of people enjoy the recurve on it too.
Yeah. I can see that.
I've seen more people using recurves on it than drop solos.
Yeah, I've used the recurve on it, and that's pretty fucking awesome too. But I usually leave the recurve on the recurve.
Oh yeah. Yeah, see, I don't have either one. I didn't get the mod or the RDA.
I don't have either one. I've seen them in action. I've used it, but I don't have it. But yeah, I like the way it looks and shit.
Yeah, it was nice. It is good, but I think this was better. This is better.
Oh, it's way better.
Yeah.
Not even close. Yeah, I don't know. I was super surprised how much I liked it. I kind of went into it really thinking like, this is gonna be not for me, and I really like. I can see buying another one. Honestly, I can see buying another one because it's a nice little beater because it's really heavy duty. I mean, and I think people just don't. It's hard to like show that in a video, but it's durable looking and feeling, and I think you could just throw it in your car, and have it as your beater. I think it would be a good fit for that. So I like it. Yeah. All right, so let's talk a little bit about mods. So you guys are all using regulated mods right now? No, Jesse's not. Jesse's using mech mods.
Mech.
Okay, yeah, definitely. I'm not even looking at chat. Yeah, so I'm a mech mod guy too. Like 99.9% of the time. That's what I've always been.
Yeah, I almost broke one out tonight, but then I left it downstairs. I forget it.
Well, I'm vaping on a regulated now. You guys talked me into grabbing my top side with the Reverie. Oh, and I'm vaping at 0.14 on that single coil.
Yeah, I got one of Mitch Green's aliens on there, 0.13.
Mitch Green, I haven't heard from him in a long time, man. He used to always come and hang out and shit on the chat on this show.
Yeah, it's crazy. I gave my wife the my Pulse 80 watt, and the Wasp Nano. And the build I had in there was what a Yetis, and it was in there for 8 months. And I'm like, you know what? The flavor is starting to come off. Let me put something fresh in there. So I have a little tin that has like a bunch of like mismatched coils in it. So I grabbed one of them out of there, threw it in there, got it right, and it came out to a 0.5. And I'm thinking, all right, well, let's see how this goes. And she already had the mod set up at 35 watts, and I put that Water Malone in there, and I took a couple of pulls off, and I'm like, that's a good fucking vape for even only 35 watts. I was like, this is crazy. I've never done that before. I've always had, at least 50, 60 watts. I've never vaped that low with that high of a build and gotten a good vape off of it.
0.5, man. Like when sub-ohm tanks first launched, and they were all kind of 0.5. It was like kind of like the average. 30 watt mods were still pretty much standard issue, I think, at that point. And yeah, you can get a really solid vape at 0.5 with 30 watts. I think people discount how well you can vape with very little. And when I first started, I've said this a million times, and this kind of goes back to mods, how far we've come with mods. The first regulated mod I had was 11 watts, and I dripped on it. I mean, I had an RDA that it would not fire dual coils. You could only have single coil in it, no matter what the ohms were. It just would not fucking work in dual. And but man, with 11 watts, I would definitely have a satisfying vape. And so
gotta be like a 28 gauge round wire and just like
28 gauge Canthal round wire for sure.
15 reps.
I think 12 wraps was like what I was using at the time for sure, but you couldn't do too many wraps because then it would just struggle. Like it's like driving a Kia up a hill. Yeah, it's like just chugging, trying to keep up. You know what I mean? And but that was from Innikin, and Innikin to this day I think makes really quality stuff. Like right now, one of my favorite regulated mods of all time is definitely right here. This is the Innikin Proton. Now, again, not perfect. This thing is pretty chintzy feeling. Actually, this doesn't have batteries in it right now, and it feels like a fucking toy. But once you get batteries in here, I think this is a great mod. So highly recommend this. Highly recommend this. What are your guys' like favorite mods right now? Like, what do you guys like can't get enough of at the moment? It can be old, can be new, doesn't matter. What would you like if somebody's like, hey, I want like the best mod I can get? Boom. What would you guys recommend?
Any good mech.
Yeah,
I love all of my mechs. Every single fucking one of them.
So, but which one now?
The most favorite probably gonna be the black brass Dreamer.
Yeah, see, I was so into the Dreamer, and then I don't know, I kind of fell out of love with the Dreamer.
Well, see, the one thing that I don't like about certain mods is when the contacts, they get oh my god, the arcing. It causes arcing and it causes stuff, and I don't like the Dreamer for that. And
it has a lot of problems with arcing. For sure.
I really like the Sarov from Vapors Club because it's set up like the 1111 and the XXX, where it's not contacting the battery. The battery is tight in there, and then it's making contact otherwise, so there's no arcing. I've never that's the Sarov. It's if you know anything about the 1111 switch, instead of having that flat surface in there with like the beveled edges, it's perfectly circular. It's like a half ball in there that makes the contact. I've never had to clean any of these contacts in the Sarov. It's always been great, and it's always hit really hard.
Nice. That's one of the reasons why I love mech mods is because they require so little from you, and they give you so much in return. You know what I mean? And that's for me. That's what makes a good mech mod. I have a mech mod right here. I've never done anything to this as far as maintenance. Never. I've never cleaned it. I've never fucking done anything. I've never replaced any springs or anything. This is the minigun mod. This is from High Desert Vapor. They don't make mods anymore, but they made something called the Shotgun. It was a 26650, and this was their follow-up, and it totally bombed. This was not successful. But this is such a solid piece of equipment. Like literally, it's stainless steel. So again, it's not the hardest hitting mod, but it does have copper contacts as far as the switch is concerned. So it's spring based, which I also am not a big fan of that. And it's got a 510 as well. This is like harkens back to a different age of mods. But I will say this mod gives me so much more than I've ever given it. And I got this on sale at some one of these retailers, online retailers. They were just trying to liquidate them. I got it for $20. This originally was like $150. I got it for 20. I've had it for 3 or 4 years, and it performs just as well today as it did the day I got it. And that's what I love about mechanical mods. I don't have any regulated mod that still functions that I've had for more than a couple years.
I really like a mod.
Fucking like a life expectancy, you know what I mean?
I really like a mod that you can take and bury in your backyard a couple feet down for 8 months, pull it out, clean it up a little bit, and still use it. Yep. Like it'll always work.
Yep.
No matter what.
That's why I love mechanical. It's got, for me, if somebody is like, you know, serious about vaping and they're leaning towards hobbyist, not just cessation of smoking, I'm always going to recommend mechanical mods because there's so much available too for a good price. Like the VGod, this is $100, less than $100. I think this is a great mod. I think it's kind of mass-produced trash in a lot of ways, but in another way, it's fucking great, heavy-duty, fucking hard-hitting little mod. And so yeah, I'm always gonna love mechanical mods. There's so much variation you can get in price, performance. Like I have the fucking Rulo Machina here. It's trash. And you get it for $20 or whatever. But like, I would still recommend this over fucking any regulated mod, just because I think you have so much more potential for. This will do whatever you want. You know what I mean? It'll do whatever you want.
This is an old infected mod. Remember that they came in the package with the little fucking fluorescent piece of candy and all that stuff. That mech right there. It's not as big as a lot of the RDAs now, but that son of a bitch works great.
You got the Mutation 1 on there? Or is it the
No, that's the Archon V1 by Cloud Chasers Inc.
I fucking love it.
What's that, 22 millimeter?
It's 20. I think the mod itself is like 20. Let me get I'm measuring this shit for you.
Yeah, the worst one I had was the Trishul. As far as, I mean, it looked nice, especially if you kept it polished up, the brass one. But the contacts, it would arc so damn bad that after a while, it would just start auto-firing because the silver plating was just wearing off of the contacts.
The one thing about this that I will say is because it's such an older mod, and when they released this, people were not going as low as I go now. So it does get hot button for the kind of builds that I will vape occasionally, you know what I mean? But just any spring mechanism, you run that risk. That's why I love magnetic switches. I have like a good example of a really cheap yet really nice mod. Is this, what is this called? This is the Black Ring Plus by Geek Vape. And this is a magnetic switch. It's a totally just a trash mod again, but that magnetic switch like elevates this from something that I would just throw away to something that I use on a pretty regular basis. It's got the hybrid top cap.
Yeah.
That's what I love. It's like with mechanical mods, it can literally just be a fucking junk tube. But if you give me a fucking like no 510, give me a hybrid top cap and a magnetic switch, I'm gonna have such a good experience with that thing. So I don't know. I just love mechanical mods. I could fucking rave about them all day. So
me too. I'm mostly I've always.
Uh-oh. Jesse.
Yeah, the government doesn't like those mechanical mods. They fucking took them out. Yikes.
Yeah, I never did switch out the spring for the magnet.
Is it back yet?
Yeah, you're back.
I think you're back now. Yes, we saw you dancing.
Okay, what I was saying was that I've always mostly always liked mech mods since the very first one I got close to 5 years ago. It was a M16 Sentinel.
Oh, yeah.
One of the telescoping ones with stainless steel and brass. And I fucking fell in love with them. And then when I had my vape shop, I needed to be able to tell people about the different regulated mods and stuff I carried. So I got into regulated mod mode there for close to a year. And I at the time I had probably 50 or 60 mechs. And I slowly had people like want them, and I'm like, well, I don't vape on them anymore. And so I sold them all out.
Oh, that's like selling your old baseball card collection.
Now I'm collecting them back again.
You look back one day and you go, oh my God, what was I thinking?
Anybody out there that's got some really good mech mods that wants to trade it for some 3D print stuff, let me know. Instagram me.
MCV. The first mech mod I ever had I'm trying not to get too close to my mic here. Was from it was a clone, and I really want to talk about clones for a second here too. It was a Panzer Blackhawk clone. It was junk. I mean, it was total junk. Hot button and made out of really shitty materials. I think it was a Tobacco clone. Tobacco used to be like the king of fucking shitty clones when I was coming up in vaping, and there was something. I was using that 11-watt mod and running fucking whatever 1.2, 1.3 ohm coils, and then I was watching some videos on YouTube or something, or a buddy. Something happened where somebody had a mechanical mod. And I saw them running like a sub-ohm build. And it was funny because back then they were like, don't ever run below 0.5. Your fucking face will blow up and shit. And I remember thinking, so I'm like, well, I'm going to try this. So I bought the cheapest mechanical mod I could find. And I already had an RDA. It was the Patriot. I was clone too. And the first time I loaded up, it was funny because a 0.5 ohm coil, just that, even that, and I couldn't vape it now. I mean, it's unvapable. But that was such like a eye-opening experience. It was so immediate. What I love about mech mods, they're so immediate. There's nothing between you and getting a good vape. And I just love that. There's no hesitation. There's no input lag. It's just like boom, fucking vaping. And from that day on, yeah, I've just been a huge mech guy. I pulled out a lot of my, I pulled out some of the mechs that I have here because I just kind of wanted to just tell people that there's like so much variation in what's available as far as like price and shit, and it always has been. People always like said back in the day, like, oh, if you want a cheap mod, you have to get a clone. But like this is a Phantom. This was from Wotofo.
Had one.
It's a $20 mod, and it's aside from the hot button that you can suffer from it. They had copper versions of these that were fucking beasts, and this one is not bad. This is the stainless steel one, $20, brand new, $20, and so there's always been these the kind of really cheap alternatives available, and there is even ways to get really high end stuff if you're not worried about staying up on like the cutting edge. I got this Rig V2, which I always wanted a Rig V2, like ever since I fucking saw this mod. I've always wanted one. I waited long enough. I ended up getting this thing for $40. So, well, Maria bought it for me. So
yeah, I got mine for free from Mary Beth.
Rig V3 where they lost me. I actually bought a Rig V3. Like full price Rig V3 and fucking hated it. And I ended up trading that for this V-God, which I like infinitely more. This is such a better mod in my opinion. But yeah, the Rig V1, V2, I think are amazing. I like the Rig Pig. If it wasn't stuck with that, basically you have to use that one RDA. So.
Yeah.
It's the same with this. I mean, the Rig V2, they want you to use, I forget the name of the RDA, but they want you to use a specific
Roughneck.
Yeah, Roughneck. Yeah.
Which it looks great on there, but I like, give me a hybrid disc. Let me use whatever I want to use.
It'd be that one.
It does look slick, And I don't even hate the Roughneck, but so and so if you're willing to wait, and then this is mechanical, but it has a MOSFET. This is from Tesla. It's the Invader Classic 2. I actually caught this thing on fire. I was running such low builds that the MOSFET caught on fire. See what's up there. And so for the longest time, I thought this thing just isn't going to work. But I actually went it was like last week. I went in with some rubbing alcohol, cleaned up the MOSFET a little bit, kind of, reflowed some of the solder and stuff. And it fires, so even shitty, this thing, again, I think was sub 20. This thing was really cheap because by the time I went to buy it, nobody wanted this. I mean, look at the button on this thing. It's fucking ridiculous. This is like they literally buy this button off AliExpress, probably.
I think it's huge too.
Pretty close to that one though, right?
It's close, yeah. It's similar, but that's such a better button than this button. So yeah. How about you, Rye? What are you gonna recommend to people if they say I gotta have a mod, the best mod? What are you telling them to buy?
I don't know. Go ask somebody else. Right now I'm enjoying this top side, so I guess this is it. I'm never like a collector or that part,
What about functionally though? Like what is your if what mod do you find yourself going to in the past? What have you gone to as like something that you think is reliable, puts off a good vape?
Oh, well, I have the it will be funny to say this. I use it now to like just fire up my coils and like purge them a little bit. But it's the Minikin, the very first version of it.
Yes.
It's still trooping up to now. When I first started, my first box mod was the Sigeli 100. It's not even the 100 plus. It's just the 100, the very first one. and that lasted me for years. I believe it was 3 years that was, I dropped that and everything already. But now terms of durability, I got that Geek Vape sent me the Aegis. I never had like the legend version of it. I don't even really know about it, but I've seen it before. But they sent me the mini one with the kit, and that's supposed to be strong too. I haven't tested it, but it feels pretty solid. But most of the time, I take these to work, so I like something that I could just step out from my job and vape real quick. I don't have time to drip, so MechMod is not my choice bringing it to work. So I'd rather take like an RTA or a Squonker. So this top side being like 10 mils is very helpful because it will last me for a while, and it won't be messy if I do it. It's innovative, and
it's so great. It's so great.
Yeah, when it comes to RTAs, the thing that I like right now is actually what is this from Advocate? Was it a Manta MTL?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, that put out some amazing flavors for a single coil, and I'm a single coiler fan. I like low wattages. Before I like to like chuck clouds and all that, I gradually like slowing down on it. I believe if you're squonking, I actually recommend a single coil because not only it lasts your battery longer, but you can get some really really great vape experience on low wattages.
Definitely.
That's what I'm trying now. Plus the fact that it makes me explore more on coils when I'm building. I could mess around more. I could add more alloys in it. I could combine things more if I'm just doing a single coil because I don't worry about the resistance. I know it's gonna land. It's gonna land over at least 0.09. That would be like the lowest I've reached on a single coil, and I went crazy on it. Like I involved a lot of wires in it. And came out to 0.9. Some people get shocked by that. Like, what single coil? But it's a 0.09. How did that happen? Like, yeah, it's a lot involved, but it's still kind of safe. Still, you know what I'm saying?
And if you're gonna use a regulated mod, there's nothing. I mean, people talk about that like in hushed tones, like, "Oh, you can't build that high." That's not what vapors do. It's like, man, if you're using a regulated mod, why not? It honestly does not matter at all. So
yeah. So I care about battery life. That's one important thing to me, and it's because it relates to my work. So I like having just one battery can last me at least half a day, and then that's great.
I think that's super. I mean, it's something really to think about because I think a lot of times we think of like what's my favorite, but like also we got to think about what's practical.
Yeah.
What I've been taking to work a lot lately is just my fucking Vagon, my Swarm Vagon, because it's got the nicotine that I need and it's can fit in my fucking pocket, and it's. I think as you mature as a vapor, I think that and the novelty of giant clouds wears off. I think that you get a little bit more comfortable with saying, okay, well, I just want something that's putting off good flavor and a nice vape. So
when I started, I was actually a little bit on the mix. I just didn't really went deep about it or what other else that came out. Kind of just faded away from it. Not because I don't like it, but it's just I turned more to like dual battery mods in there. You know what I'm saying? Like longer.
Absolutely.
Regulated.
That's what happened. That's what I ended up doing too.
Yeah.
It's just not practical.
Actually, with this week, earlier this week, I just got I got the see, I don't even know the names. It's a broadside. Was it? It's called the broadside.
Yeah.
Whatever that is. The newest one they got. They sent
Admiral or
Wait,
newer than the Admiral.
No, what's newer than the Admiral?
The one with the button on the
it's
side.
It starts with a B. I mean, it's broadside, but it starts with a B.
Oh,
the Mechas.
The Brizio or something?
Yeah, that one. And the RDA that comes with it. The company sent it to me because I kind of like won a photography contest on one team.
Oh, cool.
They said that we were shooting an RDA, but the manager of that team also said that at the end of the month, we'll pick like 4 people and they will get products from Broadside, to shoot. And they were like, okay, so it kind of turned like in a competition, but I wasn't really competing because I wasn't interested. It's a mech mods. Like, okay, I'm not into mech mods, I'm not gonna use it. but I ended up winning it anyway, so I have one there.
The Brizio is cool looking. I liked again. It's kind of like the Dreamer situation with me is that I really loved the broadside when it came out, but I fell out of love with it. So
I'm actually asking like people, maybe you guys could help me because I don't know how to clean this. So if any advice that I could get from you guys would be nice.
I'll hook up with you, man.
I got a copper one, so I know that's kind of a little bit more maintenance needed on it.
Definitely.
From what I heard, but I don't know what things you use to clean it or.
Mothers is something you can use.
Yeah, I heard that. Heavy actually recommended that Mothers.
Mothers is good. There's other shit you can use it too. I have a rag that's made for like polishing jewelry.
Yeah.
That works really well. It works really well, and you need what about
no, because I heard it from other people that use ketchup and all that. I mean, I'm thinking like, do they really work or
It can work.
I tried it, but I didn't like it.
Well, no,
Yeah.
You're gonna be able to get such a better experience with anything else besides that. So I wanted to so we'll jump over it real quick. Just a couple other things. Is that don't let people tell you what mod you need to get. I've been saying what mod we would recommend to you, but like if you want a certain type of vape, something a little bit less cloudy, then go for something low key. Like I have right here, this is the Anakin Easy Watt. This does up to 30 watts. It's tiny, and this thing is totally ideal for me at work, doing a little mouth to lung, or even putting on like an RTA or a sub-ohm tank, rocking it at 30 watts. It's totally fine. And if you're okay with something like this, save your money and fucking just get this and enjoy your vape and don't worry about what everybody else is telling you that you have to have. So you don't have to buy the newest $150, $200 mech mod.
Yeah, it's really your preference. To me, it's more of like what your lifestyle is. Like,
definitely.
For example, my wife is like she's more of a little kind of clumsy on things. Like she drops some things, or and she's vaping, and she asked me like, can you give? Because I've been letting her use my mods, so it's like big on her and stuff. So it's like she's asking me of something that she wanted, and I got her. This was like years ago, and I got her the J80s, the Sigelli J80s, those little ones.
Yeah.
I thought it was perfect for her. It's regulated. It only goes up to like 75 watts. You just plug it and charge it. There's no external battery. So I gave that her, and she's still using up to now. And she's using just up to like 40 watts of it.
That's so awesome. Yeah, that's so
She
cool.
has the Merlin on it. I put a single coil on it every week because she doesn't vape that much.
That's what's up.
She's good.
And somebody else was saying for work that they take the 22 millimeter avocado or the nudge. I've actually been using the avocado, but I've been using the Armageddon top cap on it, or the Apocalypse top cap or whatever. And man, I tell you what, I liked the avocado, but I didn't love it because of the airflow. I really don't care for. I'm learning a little bit about myself that I don't really care for that under the coil airflow. And so putting on the top cap that has the side airflow really brought this thing to life for me. And I have it on this is the Trinity Glass Hardware US 1. They have a new mod out as well that's really nice. It's a 2700 mod, but this is good too. So this has like one of the best switches. Like you barely touch the switch and it fires. I just love it. Just barely nudge it a little bit and kicks off the jams. So I don't know. I'm a weirdo about switches. I'm like so nuts about mechanical mod buttons. It's fucking crazy. Like I'm so nuts about it. They should honestly, if people were smart, they would hire me to design just the buttons because I'm a fucking nut about it. Okay, but moving on, I think that somebody asked a question about one of the other topics. Shane Smith. First of all, you know what? Let me go ahead and say hello to some people that I've been.
Yeah, a lot of people came in, about like 3 billion people.
I told you. So I was seeing you guys. I just I didn't want to interrupt the conversation, but Pete Goodwin, what's going on, brother? JFM, how you doing? Monty Marino, oh that vape, what's up, girl? Smoke 42 vape. I think I already said hello, but hey, hello again. Shane Smith, what's going on, brother? Cosmic, Easy Rider, all you guys, and anybody else I forgot. Who else? Rufinis, is that how you say it? Rufinis.
It's our Huffines.
Nice call,
Our
Randy.
Huffines. Randy. What up, Randy 13? Vaping swag. What's going on, brother? A lot of people in here. What's up, everybody? Some cool folks. But Shane Smith said he wanted to know G is closing Ohmageddon. Yes. So and it's already been answered, but I just kind of wanted to talk about it a little bit. Unfortunately, Ohmageddon is going to cease operation in 3 days. They gave everybody a pretty good lead to buy the stuff that they wanted to buy and to get products if they were fans of it. So that's pretty cool. But it was really unfortunate that that they're shutting down. So
yep.
He's
one of the best guys too. It's like, I mean, he's gonna be around, but it's like,
it feels like the end of an era. But yeah, you're right. I mean, like, he's definitely going to be around and stuff. And so he's usually, like, a lot of times will be in the chat of this show and the chat of a lot of shows. And so
he was in the chat of my show earlier today, and
I expect that he'll be around for sure. And it's just feels like, like we're losing a little something really cool because they had like a certain kind of product that you don't see a lot of. We talked about it a little bit before the show started. They have a very eclectic line. They kind of definitely did their own thing. And they weren't worried about like what was popular, or, like following trends. They did their own thing, and I really like that. I didn't like all their juices, but I did appreciate all of them for the creativity that was involved in them.
Yeah,
so,
they did it their way, like that.
Definitely. And when we're talking about mods, man, nobody knows more about mechanical mods than John Carlo.
Oh yeah,
he is like such a wealth of information about
mechanical. Yeah, he actually sent me a mech mod. Oh, let me get it.
I really kind of look forward to him like starting to make his own mech mods, because I know that he's been working with a mill or a lathe and equipment like that, and I know that like I'm sure he wants to. It may be part of like I want some Ohmageddon
conspiracy theory time.
Next.
The reason they're shutting down the vapes, the e-liquid line, is to start making mechanical mods. Hey, I would fucking buy into that because again, nobody knows more about mech mods than John Carlo. So
yeah,
and
it'd be great.
It would be amazing. It would be amazing. Yeah. So they're super cool people. It's just a big drag. But this seems to be like their decision to do this. And so, more power to them. He's definitely said they're going to continue to be around part of the community. And so, good luck on you guys' future endeavors. If you see this video, I hope you guys stick around and come hang out with us still. And so some of their e-liquids that are kind of infamous is they made one called Phantom Ravioli. It was a pizza flavor. A lot of people, like when I did the review with my partner that I used to do the channel with, Josh, he used to be like, he hated it. But then for me, I actually thought it was really good. And it opened up like a conversation of like, what if vaping had started out like this? What if like those kind of flavors, like pizza, pasta, fucking chicken, what if those had been the flavors people have started with instead of like fruits and sweets and shit? You know what I mean?
I don't know.
What if like today, like a strawberry custard was like weird? You know what I mean? Like that was like the odd duck. So I don't know. It's just those kind of conversations were because of him taking the chance to commercially release a product like Phantom Ravioli, which not a lot of people have the balls to do that. So more power to him.
I thought it was pasta.
Well, they named it ravioli, so it's a little misleading. But yeah, so good luck in the future. I really can't wait to see what they do next. I just hope they do something in this industry.
Well, yeah, I mean, you figure they're probably going to do a lot of advocating because John Coil has always done advocating. Last year the 4C 4ADV, I forget how it goes, but he just basically took that one over.
Yeah, definitely.
Got shipped to him, and he just took care of all of it.
What's the mod they sent you, Rye? Let me see it.
Oh, I was in a chat room one night. This was a while ago, and they were talking about mech mods. I know Yunko was in the panel, and they're talking about the heretic. And I was like, okay, what's that heretic? I started asking him through the chat. We were just talking to each other. And he was like, I got you. I'll send you one. Then a couple of days later, it arrived. So I have one. I think this is a copper version.
Oh, yeah. Look at that.
And I used it once. I made a video out of it and kind of like dedicated it to him. And then that was it. It was just sitting on my shelf. I know it's not like the best one out there. I know about it. But it's you know, it's just for him doing that is
Yeah.
huge to me.
And that's what I was gonna say, is that when I think of Giancarlo, like that's the kind of shit I think of. Is he
Yeah,
was always super willing to jump in and help and
yeah, he's
to
very
hook
helpful.
people up, and yeah, he's a super cool guy. So
Yeah.
yeah. So God bless, Godspeed, gentle Giancarlo, and hope to see you around for sure. All right, so let's jump in. Let's look at some of these coils that I got from Drip Dead Gorgeous, and then we're gonna call it a night. A little bit closer to 8 o'clock than normal, which is nice. I'm sure everybody's got shit to do.
Yeah, I have
Sunday.
another doctor's appointment tomorrow.
I have a very busy day tomorrow, so let's just get this shit going. All right. Let me open up the little folder.
Let me just plug it in the chat that I'm gonna be featured in Scott's Black Hat White Faces channel.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, you're the
I'm
featured builder this week. Yeah.
Builder this week, yeah.
Nice.
Yes,
Look at you, fancy
yes.
pants.
I sent my coils like 3 months ago, and I keep asking him like to put me on right away because I don't, you know, vaping kind of moves pretty fast. Maybe when he presents me tomorrow, everybody's like, you know, my coils that I did for that was like outdated already. I was joking with him, but he was like, "No, I have to be fair to everybody." I even tried to bribe him just out of like kind of pranking him, like, "How much do you need, bro? I'll pay you. Put me in the first, put me in the lineup right away." Like, "No, you gotta wait, man."
Gives me another reason to watch his show, man. I love that fucking
He's
show.
a funny dude.
He's
a
so funny, man. Yeah, his show is so much fun. Honestly.
I kept asking him to make a podcast or something.
All right, let me see here. Okay, I'm gonna share this screen real quick. Yeah, I stole your coffee. Okay, here we go. So her name is Ruby, but she goes by Drip Dead Gorgeous on Instagram. And when you see the coils, you're gonna see what I was talking about as far as her originality. Now we've kind of come.
I love Ruby.
We've come to a place with
She is
building.
beautiful.
Yeah, definitely.
Beautiful coil.
Beautiful coils. I've come to a place with vaping where there's just not a lot of innovation going on as far as like we've hit the Clapton kind of like roadblock, and so.
I don't think they're all vaping.
Well, I think that most of them are vapable for sure. Not all of them. Yeah, some of these are going to be pretty outlandish, but so here's a braided Clapton, but it's kind of like a Celtic knot almost. You don't see a lot of shit like this.
Mm-hmm.
Like it a lot. Different shot of that, all wicked up. So here's a close up. I don't even know what to call that. Like a vertebrae or some shit, maybe. I don't know. A suka of some kind.
That's like a stitched enigma almost, I think, or like a skip fused with a ribbon tuka.
It's so crazy. So a little bit of just about her. So she did a lot of jewelry stuff as a younger person, and she did a lot of these coils amazingly without a drill. It was very late in her building career that she got a drill to start building with. Like she did the majority of the stuff that we're going to see today. I think that she did all of this by hand.
Yeah, you can notice because usually builds like this needs a stronger core. That's why most builders will put like a stack of ribbon in the middle of that in frames. But it looks like she's just using like round wire coils, like just 3 of them inside there.
Yep.
And she's just wrapping it all off. Very possible, but with her hands. And the fact that it's aligning like that after wrapping is pretty good.
Yeah, man, that's this thing that people don't really realize. I think if you don't have a lot of experience building, how good a stick can look, like the stick of wire before you actually wrap coils out of it can look amazing, and then you wrap it and it all falls apart, and it, like literally and figuratively, like it'll go to hell and it'll look awful, just terrible. So it's cool to see something that's this intricate and this different still kind of hold up really well after being wrapped. So there's a little bit of spacing here in her core on the right side coil there, which I'm sure is unintentional, but still, I think for what it is, I think that's still pretty cool.
Yeah.
There's another shot of that Coil. This is my favorite one, I think, that she sent, just because it's so, again, I'm going to use the word eclectic. It's so different than anything else you would normally see. And it probably isn't that functional, because there's a lot of surface area of the wire you're not even going to have touching anything, like as far as the cotton. But I just think it's so cool, and it incorporates so many things I love, like the flat wire fused Claptons, and just, man, this is just a beautiful mess. I think it's just amazing, and some great colors on that too as well. So
Yeah.
and I think this is a shot of that same coil, but from a bigger perspective. And she was really into this freaking Twisted Messes squared. Like, for the longest time, every build that she did was Messes squared.
Deck space.
Yeah, it's a cool deck for builders for sure.
Yeah. But it didn't last in the air for a while, though. It kind of faded fast.
Oh, big time. I think it's just because it's really limited on what you're going to put it on. Like, you cannot put that on a tube mod.
Yeah.
Look like fucking craziness on a tube mod, but I mean, it looks really cool on certain regulated mods, box mods and shit.
Yeah.
I'd never even had one. I don't know. I felt like the first Twisted Messes I bought, then I actually paid money for the Twisted Messes too, and I thought it was junk. If I'm being totally honest, I thought it was junk. It didn't hold up well. There was just so many problems. I had problems with the post spinning and shit. I just thought it was junk. I'm being totally real.
I just bought one over the weekend because they were doing 30% off sale. I pieced one together. It was $14, $16.99 with shipping.
I would pay that, but what I paid originally for mine was like $70. And I thought I just paid $70 for a $20 Addy, and I felt a little bit bitter about that for a while.
I had the 24, but I don't have the Pro.
I like the new ones. Yeah. So what is this called, Brian? Like where you have two different kinds of.
Oh, like a hybrid?
A hybrid. There you go.
Yeah.
This is a very unusual one, though.
Yeah, it looks like it's kind of helix. A little twist in the fuse.
Look at that. Let me see if I can zoom in a little bit. Is that flat wire that she's got going around?
The one that's wrapping, yeah, with
wire,
big gaps, yeah.
Yeah. Pretty cool. Yeah, this is pretty neat, actually. I like that a lot. I hope I have a picture of that that's been fired. I don't think I do. Unfortunately, so one of the problems. Oh, get out of here. One of the problems that we have with doing these retrospectives of the builders is there was a time where I wasn't saving these pictures. Like there was a time where I would just every week I would just erase everything, and then the next week I would So I have some pictures left, quite a few pictures left, but not as many as I'd like. And unfortunately, I guess that's all that I have from her. I'll probably find more later on. They're all like just buried in different folders and shit. And I'm so unorganized on my computer, but yeah. So I learned a lesson from that though, is to always save every fucking picture that I get. As far as like vaping stuff is concerned, especially I'm
gonna send you all my pictures in my computer.
I fucking wish you would, man, because I'm trying to so long about trying to get some pictures out of you.
We're talking about taking 200 pictures and just one of them is gonna make it to Instagram.
Well, fucking, I'll re-upload all that shit and get all those sweet clicks, baby.
Insane.
Yeah, Juan, thank you. I'm sure she will be happy to hear that you enjoyed her build. She will watch this video, I'm sure. And so, all the stuff you guys are saying, she's gonna get a kick out of that. She's a very down to earth, normal person, and so any kind of attention she gets off of her coils is always like just baffles her. And yeah, so awesome. Awesome. All right, we're gonna call it a night for tonight. Whatever, you know what I'm saying. We're gonna call it a wrap. And yeah, so let's go through and let everybody tell you where you can find them. We'll start with Frank because you're at the top of my screen. Frank, why don't you tell them where they can find you?
Well, you can find me here on YouTube, Daytime Frank. You can find me on Instagram, the same name, Daytime Frank. Find me on ELR and on all the flavors. Find some of my recipes over there. Catch me every Sunday, most Sundays, 2 p.m. Eastern, mixing in the kitchen. Next week, I think we're going to be doing, it might be next week, we're going to be doing one-shots, talking about one-shots a little bit. Basically, going back to basics and, showing people that you don't need to buy a whole kit. You can just buy some VG and some Nick and buy some one shots and save yourself a bunch of money.
Where so like a little side quest right here. Where would you recommend? Like, what are some good one shots? Just like a little preview. Give me like 3 or 4 good one shots, and where can they find them?
We'll hit up Adore E-Liquid. You get.
That's an easy cop out. Okay.
Well, no, hold on. And there's a new one that's out now. It's from Island Vapes. He has 6 of them that just came out. We're going to be talking about them next week. He sent to 3 of us to review. Okay. I got them mixed up. I haven't touched them yet. I want to wait and give first impressions live. But Liquid Barn has some with DIY or die. EC Express, EC Express, they have them with on the DIY or die section. Wizard Labs, I know, has Jen Jarvis's one shots over there.
Okay.
If you're in the UK or internationally, Chefs over in the UK, they have a ton of one shots. Shindo has some over there. I think Jen Jarvis has some over there. I'm not sure if Jen Juice Fairy does, but another place where you can get them. I mean, you can get them anywhere anymore.
I just learned a lot right now. That's cool. Yeah, no, because I really want to get into doing some of that. As part of like the regular video series, doing a little bit of one shot stuff, because I think it's kind of doing people a service if you can get out of the commercial e-liquid and get a little bit more. And it's a really easy way to kind of ease into it. And Adore e-Liquid, of course, I mean, they offer every single flavor they do as the concentrates. So I mean, of course, if you're looking for a way to jump into it, that's a really easy way, and a really safe way, because their flavors are consistently pretty good. So yeah, absolutely. All right. Okay, Jesse, why don't you tell them where they can find you and what you're doing over there?
I am twiddling my thumbs. I am vaping on the top side. No, you can find me on Instagram at Stand Up 3D, on YouTube Stand Up 3D, and at standup3d.com for my 3D printed things.
And we've done a whole show. We basically did an infomercial about Stand Up 3D. So if you want to check out more about Stand Up 3D, I forget, it was like the week before last. Go check out that show. We talk a lot about what he offers and what's going on. So yeah.
JFM, I didn't know you had a one shot.
Yeah, I just saw that. Where's that at, JFM? As far as a one shot, where can we buy it?
I know he has some the recipe packs over at Bull City Flavors. I know he has 1 or 2 of his recipes over there. Where you can buy the whole recipe and then put it together yourself.
We had him on the show one time, and it was such a good show. It was amazing. So we have to get him back on. But yeah, so again, if you're looking for any kind of storage for any aspect of your vape, from DIY, talking about one shots, and if you're going to do some DIY, go to the Stand Up 3D. You can get little stands to keep all your stuff organized and upright, which I think is important when you're doing fucking DIY. And for your RDA, holding all your RDAs, your mech mods, etc. So go check them out. Coming soon. Okay, keep us updated. When that comes out, JFM, you should come on the show, do a little promotion of it, and talk about it. I would love that.
I'm gonna say my chat's lagging. I'm not even seeing that yet. There it is.
Yeah, mine's lagging too. I don't know.
We're all lagging. All right, Ryan. What about you, buddy? Where can they find you, and what are you doing?
I'm doing photo shots on Instagram at vape_Rye, and it's great to be here. I mean,
don't let him mislead you guys. He does some amazing.
I have some things coming out. Guys, check out Black Hat White Face tomorrow at 5. I'm his featured builder for a week, and I have a giveaway there. It's in the box, and I think it's really cool. There's 5 coils actually I'm giving out. He only requires 3, but I gave him 5. Cool. So I hope you guys win that, because that's also my kind of like, I hit 5K on Instagram just a couple of days ago.
Wow, congrats. That's awesome.
It's like a thank you thing. Well, it doesn't mean much to me really for following. It's just the fun of it.
Yeah.
Of shooting and presenting something on Instagram, and just the passion of vaping really. So yeah, I got some gadgets too coming up. I received the Coil version 2.
Yeah.
I haven't even opened it. Like I'm gonna feature that. The Fovia V2 is also gonna be featured soon. I'm gonna do the Rebirth again, but this time I'm gonna show a dual setup on it.
Nice.
Because I did the first single core setup. I presented that last week already, so that's coming up too. A lot of busy things, but I'm happy to do it because I love vaping and it saves lives. So
Absolutely.
let's fight for this. You
So
know,
all jokes aside, man, you guys go check out Rye because he is not only obviously one of the most humble guys in this industry, but also the work that he does. His photography is amazing. His building is great, and so really go check him out.
Also, one more thing. I'm also part of a team called Build Mafia. Johnny Drips is on it. Scott from Black White Config. We have new people now, and the reason why Freddie's in that too. He's part of it too, even though he has another team. So we built this team. Basically, this team is not just coil builders. We actually always try to do something to give back to people. So we actually build and we combine our things and we do a giveaway. If there's something that you need to raise money up for good cause, or if it's the fight for vaping rights, we'll do something. We're always here to help. So we
Awesome.
think that that's a different approach from other teams, and it's like an advocacy team. So check them out. We're gonna have a big giveaway coming up. We're working on it at the moment.
Awesome.
So watch out for that.
That's super cool. That is super cool. I love that, man. You got, we get so much from this community, so it's really nice to be able to give something back. So I love it. Love it. Yeah. So hello, Sinin. Yeah, you're pretty late because we're getting ready to end the show. But so we didn't touch on one thing we didn't touch on, and I really wanted to when I had Jesse and Rye here, is kind of, hey, what's going on?
What's up, Scott?
Freddie and Scott are all coming in.
See, I mentioned Build Mafia, and now they're
Here
here.
they
You know
come.
what I'm saying? Like, these are my teammates. These are my teammates. Hi.
What up?
Welcome to the end of the show.
The show's going long now.
Hope you enjoy the end of the show. But so one thing I wanted to touch on that we didn't touch on is kind of like monetizing your hobby, right? And some people are gonna cringe at that, but like the reality is that when you have a hobby like vaping, that can be really expensive. And if you're already doing a lot of stuff, like if you're doing a lot of YouTube or you're doing a lot of Instagram, like how can we get some of the money we put in back? Or even if you're not getting direct money, how can you cut down on some of your costs as far as like getting free products and stuff like that? And there's a lot of ways to get involved in this industry that don't necessarily have to do with having an e-liquid line or building an RDA, or there's a lot of in-between space to get involved in the industry, like what Jesse does with Stand Up 3D, what Rye does with his photography. There's a lot of room for us to all kind of get in on this industry and be a part of it. And so that's a conversation we're gonna have to wait for another day to have. But I really want people to kind of maybe stew on that, and let's get back to that conversation at a later point, because I think it's really a really interesting thing we could talk about. So everybody's coming late. What's up, everybody?
Saturation station right now. I mean,
all right. But anyways, so
I texted them. That's why I told them I'll send them the check at the end of the month. Come over.
I did, Sinin. I did. Thank you so much. All right. Well, thank you guys so much for hanging out with us. I really want to thank Frank, Jesse, and Rye for all coming and hanging out. Really, really appreciate it. And we're going to have them back really soon. And yeah, thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you next time. Peace out.
Bye, everybody.
yeah.
Bye, everybody.